What if I told you one of the boldest classic American cars ever built wasn't a Cadillac, but something even longer, lower, and somehow even more outrageous? How did a 19-foot chrome-covered flagship from 1959 become one of the most overlooked, forgotten legends of us cars? Why does the 1959 Oldsmobile 98 look like it rolled straight out of a jet age dream, yet barely gets mentioned when people talk about the greatest luxury machines of the era? And could this massive, thinned land yacht actually be one of the most enduroplastic icons of American automotive history? Today, we're diving into the story of the 1959 Oldsmobile 98, Oldsmobile's ultimate flagship, and one of the wildest expressions of late 50s American confidence and ever put on for wheels. Now, to really understand this car, you've got to rewind your mind back to 1959. America wasn't just booming, it was exploding with confidence. The space race was heating up. Suburbs were expanding. Highways were stretching across the country like concrete rivers. Everything felt possible: bigger houses, bigger dreams, and definitely bigger cars. This was the golden age of classic American cars. When designers weren't told to hold back, they were told to go further. Add more chrome, stretch it longer, make it flashier, make it feel like the future. And inside General Motors, brands were battling each other for dominance. Chevrolet owned the streets. Pontiac was getting sporty. Cadillac ruled pure luxury. But Oldsmobile? Oldsmobile wanted respect. They wanted to prove they could build something just as bold, just as premium, without wearing a Cadillac badge. That's where the 98 came in. The 1959 Oldsmobile 98 wasn't just another full-size sedan. It was Oldsmobile's flagship, their crown jewel, their statement to America that they belonged at the top. And visually, it didn't whisper, it shouted. Over 219 inches long, this thing wasn't a car, it was a rolling monument to post-war optimism. The body sat wide and low, the stance felt planted, almost dramatic, and then there were the tail fins. Those fins didn't just rise, they soared. Sharp, sculpted, and unapologetic, inspired by fighter jets and rocket ships. They captured the exact energy of the late 50s. This was the jet age on wheels. Park it next to almost anything today, and it still looks like it came from a future that never happened. The front end was just as bold. A massive grille dripping in chrome. Quad headlights set deep into sculpted metal. Every angle reflected sunlight like it was trying to blind the competition. But here's what made it different from some of the other vintage muscle cars that would later dominate the 60s. This wasn't built for drag strips. It was built for presence. When a 98 rolled down Main Street, people didn't just see it, they felt it. And then you opened the door. Inside, it was pure late 50s luxury. Plush bench seats wide enough for 6 adults. Soft materials. A sweeping dashboard filled with polished trim. Power windows. Power seats. Even advanced safety padding that was considered innovative at the time. It felt less like a car and more like a moving living room, one wrapped in chrome and ambition. But don't let the luxury fool you. Under that massive hood sat Oldsmobile's legendary rocket, the ETA 394 cubic inch engine, producing around 315 horsepower. For a full-size luxury flagship in 1959, that was serious muscle. Not muscle car territory yet, but definitely no slouch. Press the throttle and this giant machine didn't struggle, it urged. Smooth, confident torque that made highway cruising feel effortless. It didn't scream, it glided. It floated over pavement like the road was an afterthought. So think about that for a second. You've got the dramatic styling of the jet age, the comfort of a luxury lounge, and the power of a rocket V8 pushing nearly 2.5 tons of American steel down the highway. With all that going for it, why isn't the 1959 Oldsmobile 98 mentioned in the same breath as the most celebrated classic American cars? Why did it quietly slip into the background while other names took the spotlight? Because sometimes in American car history, being bold isn't enough. Even with its jaw-dropping design, plush interior, and the mighty rocket V8, the 98 never quite grabbed the spotlight like Cadillac's big sedans. Cadillac was the name people dreamed about. It had the reputation, the glamour, the celebrity approval. Meanwhile, Oldsmobile was quietly trying to prove itself, building some of the boldest classic American cars ever without the same fanfare. Then the 1960s hit, and everything shifted. The muscle car revolution exploded onto the scene. Chevrolet's Jotes, Mustangs suddenly raw power and youthful rebellion, and find what people wanted. Long, chrome-heavy land yachts like the 98 looked almost old-fashioned overnight. Oldsmobile tried to adapt, but their identity was caught in limbo. Were they luxury? Were they performance? Were they both? The public was confused. Dealers didn't push them as hard as Cadillac. Magazine covers rarely featured them. Slowly, the 98 faded from mainstream memory. But history has a way of giving bold cars their second act. Today, collectors are waking up to just how special the 1959 98 really is. Auctions show rising values. Baby boomers reconnect with the cars they admired as kids. Chrome tail fins that once symbolized America's space-age dreams are now badges of nostalgia. Every sweeping dashboard, every wide bench seat, every inch of polished chrome tells the story of a time when America believed in big dreams and even bigger cars. The 98 wasn't just transportation, it was a statement. A celebration, a moving monument to post-war optimism. And for those who spot one today, it's more than a car. It's a glimpse into an era where boldness ruled, where designers dared to dream, and where every drive felt cinematic. The 1959 Oldsmobile 98 wasn't forgotten because it failed. It was forgotten because it was too bold for its time. If you want to see more legendary cars and their stories come to life, make sure you subscribe.